evening and welcome to the 8 p.m. report. I'm your host, Josh Carney, reporting live from Central Queensland University, Gladstone. On tonight's show, we have a panel of experts joining me. Is Antoinette Hayes, a first-year university student, Hannah Kennings, a second-year primary school teacher, and Rochelle Stevens, a university lecturer, who has worked at the uni for over 10 years. Welcome, ladies, to this special edition of tonight's show. Our panel tonight will be discussing and giving us some insight into education in the 21st century. So, Rochelle, what is a knowledge-based economy?
Well, Josh, a knowledge-based economy is the term used to describe how economies are now formed based on their ability to acquire, produce and use information effectively. The phrase was created by the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, or otherwise known as the OECD.
Interesting. And how has classrooms and education in Australia adapted these knowledge-based economy?
Classrooms and Education Queensland have introduced technology into most classrooms. This enables students to gain understanding of how information can be acquired effectively through the internet and other computer programs. This equips students with the tools to successfully cope in today's modern technological society.
Very interesting. So, Antoinette, you have a pretty extensive knowledge with the learning management concept, I understand. So what is it?
It's an approach to learning which aims to achieve learning outcomes in all learners. It consists of a learning design process as well as incorporating the skill sets required by teachers.
Okay, could you explain this learning design process a little more, just so our audience can understand a bit more about it?
Sure. It involves the 8 learning management questions, which are used as a schematic organiser for teachers to sequence and plan curriculum material that is expected to be delivered to individual learners. This process also involves the use of the dimensions of learning, which is used as a mechanism for converting the learning design process into research-based pedagogical strategy.
Okay then, on another topic, Rochelle, would you agree that technology has influenced a new age of teaching in regards to learning management?
Yes, through research it has become apparent that each student has their own learning style, and to achieve their learning potential they should be catered for. Learning management is a new form of teaching that aims to achieve this.
And the learning management concept is a designed learning role which incorporates the knowledge and skill sets required by educators in the 21st century. It is a powerful teacher education device that shapes pedagogic communication. Without it, I believe that learning outcomes may not be achieved by all learners.
Interesting, a very good insight there. This now brings me to an email from one of our viewers, Paula McDonald from Gladstone. She writes in and says, "Dear Josh, technology has changed dramatically. Is this one reason why we need to reskill teachers? I can't believe the changes in classrooms from when I went to school." Well, firstly, thank you, Paula, for your email. I couldn't agree more with you. Technology has developed over the last 20 years, from blackboards to whiteboards, now to interactive whiteboards. Every high school student having laptop access and internet access, primary school students using iPods and iPads. I remember when I started school, we had a pen and pad, that was it. Technology development has changed and affected the workplace and the home, I would say. I suppose technology has to prepare students for a globally competitive market for a technological world, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. As for reskilling educators, it's absolutely vital for our students. There is a decline in teacher graduates with an ageing workforce. With this ageing workforce, they need to be reskilled. This, however, shouldn't be left up to the educator themselves, nor the school. The government should be assisting the schools in reskilling their staff, not only the teachers, but the principals and the administration staff as well. It's not going to be an easy task, you'd say, would you? No, as most teachers were trained in an era long gone.
So what do you believe is the biggest problem with the current teaching model?
Well, the current teaching model may have been sufficient for previous decades of learners, but it would be conceded to believe that this same pedagogy would apply to the current generations. The biggest problem with the current model is that it can't deal with the constant changing in today's society. Think of teaching as a Sony Walkman. Unlike teaching, the Walkman has been overtaken by new technology and is constantly being advanced. I believe that the current model is in desperate need of new technology and advancement, or else our children are going to be left behind like the Sony Walkman.
Do you think that teaching has reached its highest potential?
I do feel that the current method of teaching has reached its limits. Although this method has been used for decades and has worked reasonably well, it's not enough for the children of the 21st century. Education now needs to have more focus on the individual student's needs rather than teaching an entire class.
So Hannah, looking to the future, what do you think needs to change and why?
Well, in the future, we need to allow students and parents to have more control rather than just the teachers and governments. Teachers need to have the skills and knowledge to deal with a constantly changing environment and should constantly advance their knowledge for the duration of their careers. This will increase the chance of new innovation and new pedagogy.
So there we go, audience. It's clear that education in the 21st century is vital for our children. I'd like to thank our experts tonight, our panel, Hannah, Antoinette and Rochelle. Your expertise and input has been absolutely superb. And here's Amanda with the weather.